Listen, I ain't here to waste your time. I got 10 minutes to tell you how to change your life. That's it. 10 minutes. The time it takes for you to scroll on your phone, complain about your boss, or sit in the drive-thru waiting on a burger you don't need. But what if you use those 10 minutes differently? See, success ain't about luck. It ain't about waiting for the perfect time. It's about what you do when nobody's watching. And you don't need a whole year, a 6-month plan, or some fancy college degree to change things. You just need 10 minutes every single day to do something that moves you forward. Let me break it down for you. 10 minutes to pray or meditate, because your mind needs clarity. 10 minutes to learn something new, because knowledge is power. 10 minutes to work on your dream, because if you ain't working on it, somebody else is. 10 minutes to exercise, because health ain't something you appreciate until you lose it. 10 minutes to encourage yourself, because if you're waiting on somebody else to do it, you might be waiting forever. Now, some of y'all gonna say, well, I don't have 10 minutes. Let me tell you something, you do. If you got time to gossip, binge watch TV, or scroll on social media, you got 10 minutes. You're one decision away from a new life. One small habit away from a breakthrough. Don't wait until next year, next month, or next Monday. Take 10 minutes today and do something that your future self will thank you for. That's how you transform your life. One decision, one moment, one step at a time. Now get up and get to work. Success is not built on grand gestures or massive leaps overnight. It is shaped by the small, consistent actions that are repeated every single day. Many people believe that transformation requires a radical shift, a big moment of change, or a breakthrough that happens in an instant. But in reality, it is the seemingly insignificant steps taken daily that lead to monumental results over time. The key is persistence, dedication, and the ability to stay committed even when the results are not immediately visible. Take a look at any successful person and you'll see that their achievements didn't happen by accident. Whether it's in business, fitness, relationships, or personal development, success comes from the daily habits that compound over time. Imagine a person who wants to lose weight. They don't just wake up one morning 50 pounds lighter. It happens because they made small decisions every day, choosing water over soda, walking instead of taking the elevator, eating healthy instead of indulging in junk food. At first, the changes are barely noticeable, but after weeks and months of consistency, the transformation becomes evident. This principle applies to every area of life. If someone wants to become a writer, they don't wait for inspiration to strike. They write a little every day. A musician doesn't become great by practicing once a month. They dedicate time every day to mastering their craft. A business doesn't grow overnight. It is built through daily efforts, making sales calls, improving products, and refining strategies. The key to long-term success is showing up every day, even when motivation is low, and pushing forward when progress feels slow. Most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack consistency. They start something with enthusiasm, but when they don't see immediate results, they give up. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones keep going. They understand that the work they put in today might not pay off tomorrow or even next month, but eventually it will. The small actions they take today are investments in their future. Consider the story of bamboo. When bamboo is planted, it doesn't seem to grow at all in the first few years. To the outside observer, it looks like nothing is happening. But underground, the roots are spreading, creating a strong foundation. Then suddenly, in just a few weeks, the bamboo shoots up, growing several feet in a short time. That's how success works. The daily grind, the unseen effort, the small, seemingly insignificant actions, they all add up. And when the breakthrough finally comes, people call it overnight success, not realizing that it was years in the making. People often underestimate the power of compounding. If someone reads just 10 pages of a book every day, that's 3,650 pages a year, roughly 15 books. If they save just a small amount of money every week, over time, it turns into a significant amount. If they practice a skill for just 20 minutes a day, in a year, they will have spent over 120 hours improving. The difference between those who excel and those who remain stagnant is not massive action taken once, but small actions repeated consistently over time. Many people struggle with consistency because they expect immediate gratification. They want to see results now. When they don't, they get discouraged and quit. But consistency requires patience. It requires trust in the process, belief that the small efforts today will lead to big rewards in the future. This is why people who achieve great things often have a long-term mindset. They understand that success is not about what they do once in a while, but what they do every day. The key to maintaining consistency is discipline, not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days people feel inspired to work hard, but other days they don't. Those who rely on motivation alone will struggle because motivation is fleeting. Discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps people moving forward even when they don't feel like it. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up along the way. Creating routines and habits is one of the best ways to ensure consistency. When something becomes a habit, it no longer requires willpower or motivation. It becomes automatic. Think about brushing teeth. Nobody has to remind themselves every morning to do it. It's just part of the routine. The same principle applies to success. If working on a goal becomes part of a daily routine, it no longer feels like a chore. It becomes second nature. Another important factor in maintaining consistency is accountability. When people have someone to hold them accountable, they are more likely to stick to their commitments. This could be a mentor, a coach, a friend, or even a journal where they track progress. Knowing that there is a system in place to measure progress makes it harder to quit. One of the biggest mistakes people make is aiming for perfection instead of consistency. They think they have to do everything perfectly or not at all, but perfection is not the goal. Progress is. It's better to do something imperfectly than to do nothing at all. A person who exercises for 10 minutes a day, even if it's not a perfect workout, is still ahead of the person who does nothing. A writer who writes one paragraph a day is still making progress, even if it's not their best work. The goal is to keep moving forward, even if it's not perfect. Sometimes people get discouraged because they don't see immediate results. They put in the effort, but nothing seems to change. This is where most people give up. But success is like planting seeds. A farmer doesn't plant seeds and expect a full harvest the next day. They water the seeds, take care of them, and wait. Over time, the seeds grow into something bigger. The same applies to life. The effort put in today might not show results immediately, but eventually it will. Another reason people struggle with consistency is that they set goals that are too big and overwhelming. They try to change everything at once and get burnt out. The key is to start small. Instead of trying to read an entire book in a day, read a few pages. Instead of trying to work out for 2 hours, start with 10 minutes. Small, manageable actions are easier to maintain, and once they become habits, they can be expanded. It's important to track progress and celebrate small wins. When people see that they are improving, even in small ways, it gives them motivation to keep going. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Recognizing and appreciating small achievements helps maintain momentum. There will always be obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. Life is unpredictable and things don't always go as planned. But those who succeed are the ones who keep going despite the difficulties. They don't let failure stop them. They adjust, adapt, and continue moving forward. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day and doing something that moves the needle forward. It's about making small choices that add up over time. Success is not a single event, but a series of small, consistent actions repeated over and over again. The people who reach their goals are not always the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are the ones who show up, put in the work, and refuse to quit. The way a person thinks shapes their entire life. Every action, every decision, and every outcome is a reflection of what goes on in the mind. People often believe that success is about luck, connections, or circumstances, but in reality, everything starts with the mindset. A person with a strong, positive, and determined mindset will find a way to succeed no matter what obstacles stand in their way. On the other hand, someone with a negative, defeated, and doubtful mindset will struggle even if they have every advantage. The mind is the foundation of everything, and if that foundation is weak, nothing built on it will stand for long. Everything a person experiences is filtered through their beliefs and perceptions. If they believe they are capable, they will act accordingly. If they believe they are destined to fail, they will find ways to prove themselves right. The human mind is powerful, but it is also conditioned by past experiences, upbringing, and the environment. Many people carry limiting beliefs that hold them back. These beliefs come from things they were told as children, failures they experienced, or fears they never overcame. But the truth is, those beliefs are not permanent. They can be challenged, changed, and rewritten. A person who believes in their ability to succeed approaches life differently than someone who doubts themselves. When challenges arise, the confident person sees them as opportunities to grow, while the doubtful person sees them as proof that they are not good enough. The way someone thinks about failure determines whether they will rise or quit. Some of the most successful people in history have failed more times than the average person even tries. The difference is that they did not let failure define them. They understood that failure is a lesson, not a final judgment. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. The mind is like a muscle. The more it is trained to think positively, the stronger it becomes. But just like a muscle, if it is not exercised, it weakens. People who constantly feed their minds with negativity, doubt, and fear will struggle to see opportunities even when they are right in front of them. Those who fill their minds with positivity, confidence, and possibility will naturally attract success. Thoughts influence emotions, and emotions drive actions. If a person thinks they are unworthy, they will feel unworthy, and their actions will reflect that. But if they think they are capable, they will feel empowered, and their actions will align with success. One of the biggest factors that shape mindset is the environment. The people someone surrounds themselves with, the conversations they engage in, and the content they consume all influence how they think. If someone spends time with negative, complaining, and unmotivated people, their mindset will reflect that energy. But if they are surrounded by ambitious, positive, and driven individuals, they will start to adopt that same mindset. The company a person keeps has a direct impact on their thoughts, and those thoughts shape their reality. Words have power. The things people say to themselves matter. If someone constantly tells themselves they are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough, those words become their reality. But if they practice positive self-talk, affirming their strengths, abilities, and potential, they start to believe it. The subconscious mind absorbs whatever it is repeatedly told. If it is fed negativity, it will produce negativity. If it is fed positivity, it will produce confidence and success. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles to a strong mindset. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change, all of these hold people back from reaching their full potential. But fear is an illusion. It only has power when it is believed. Most of the things people fear never even happen. And even when they do, they are never as bad as imagined. The only way to overcome fear is to face it. Every time fear is confronted, it weakens. Every time it is avoided, it grows stronger. The most successful people in the world feel fear just like everyone else, but they refuse to let it control them. Gratitude is one of the most powerful mindset shifts a person can make. When people focus on what they lack, they feel discouraged. But when they focus on what they already have, they feel empowered. Gratitude shifts the perspective from scarcity to abundance. It reminds people that they are already blessed and capable, which fuels confidence and motivation. A person who starts their day by listing the things they are grateful for will approach life with a different energy than someone who starts their day complaining. That energy affects everything, from decision-making to relationships to opportunities. Visualization is another powerful tool for shaping the mind. When someone pictures themselves succeeding, achieving their goals, and living the life they desire, their brain starts to find ways to make it a reality. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. That is why athletes, performers, and high achievers use visualization to prepare for success. When the mind repeatedly sees an outcome, it starts to believe it is possible, and once it believes it, actions follow. Resilience is built in the mind first. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are guaranteed. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is mindset. A person who believes they can handle anything will keep pushing forward no matter what happens. They understand that tough times are temporary, but their ability to overcome is permanent. A weak mindset crumbles under pressure, but a strong mindset uses pressure as fuel. The most successful people have faced the hardest struggles, but they refuse to let those struggles break them. Instead, they let them build them. Perspective is everything. Two people can experience the same situation, but their reactions can be completely different based on their mindset. One person might see a job loss as the end of the world, while another sees it as an opportunity for something better. One person might see rejection as a reason to quit, while another sees it as a push to improve. The way a person chooses to interpret events determines their future. The most successful people see setbacks as setups for comebacks. They do not dwell on what went wrong. They focus on what they can learn and how they can grow. The human brain is wired for survival, which means it naturally looks for problems, dangers, and risks. That is why negative thoughts come more easily than positive ones. But just because a thought appears does not mean it must be believed. People have the power to challenge their thoughts, replace negative ones with positive ones, and reprogram their minds for success. It takes effort, but it is possible. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, a person can train themselves to think, I am learning how to do this. Instead of thinking, I will probably fail, they can think, I will figure this out. These small shifts in thinking make a massive difference over time. Discipline is a product of mindset. People who rely on motivation struggle because motivation is inconsistent. Some days they feel like working hard, other days they do not. But those with a strong mindset do not wait to feel like doing something. They do it anyway. They understand that feelings are temporary, but results come from action. They push through doubt, fatigue, and resistance because they know that consistency leads to success. Growth comes from challenges, but only if the mindset is right. When people see challenges as opportunities instead of obstacles, they develop resilience, creativity, and strength. The most successful individuals embrace discomfort because they understand that nothing great comes from staying in a comfort zone. They seek growth, learning, and new experiences because they know that every challenge is a chance to become better. A person's future is determined by their mindset today. The thoughts they entertain, the beliefs they hold, and the way they interpret the world will shape their decisions and actions. The mind is the most powerful tool a person has, and when it is trained for success, nothing is impossible.